Alright guys, so this video here is going to be how to clean your IWI Tavor. And one of my favorite things about this weapon is how easy it is to take it apart. So as you can see, there's 3 black dots here. 1, 2, 3. And on the other side of the weapon, oh, you know what? My mistake, I didn't show this to you guys. Weapon is clear, nothing in there. Put my hands in there, you see my fingers, and do a visual inspection. You can see there's nothing in there. So, alright, now that that's done, back to what I was saying. So you see those 3 dots, alright, this one here, you're going to be able to pull all your firing mechanism out of the back, and then these 2 here will allow you to drop your trigger pack out, and then you're pretty much ready to start cleaning. So the first thing that you need to know when you're going to clean this weapon is always, before you get ready to clean the weapon, charge your weapon back. Now the reason why I say that is because your trigger kit actually goes up and down like this, and if you don't charge it back, your trigger will stay like this up, and you're gonna see how much of a pain in the ass it is to get that trigger pack out if your trigger is up. So remember to always charge your Tavor before you're gonna clean it. That way it stays down and it just drops out. The trigger pack will just drop out. Alright, so let me show you how this goes. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and push the pin just a little bit on there and there. And then you'll see here how they're sticking out. There's 1, 2, 3. And there's a little bit of there's a spring here. So you're going to want to push this in. I'll push it with my finger, and then you can pull it out. And you'll see when this opens, there's your firing mechanism. Alright, whole thing comes out, and I'll show you how to get to the pin on there. Alright, and then here, we're going to pull these out. These pins do not come off the weapon. They only go so far, and they stay that way. And then we're going to go ahead and get to the trigger pack here. And this is the Tav D trigger. It's pretty much identical to the stock one, except this is a 5-pound trigger compared to a stock one that's 11 pounds. And so we'll put that down. And now actually you can see the inside of the weapon. And I'll try to let you guys get a little view in there. I don't know how dark it is. You know what? Let me try to see if I can get my flashlight so you can get a better view in there. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Alright. So I'll go ahead and put some light through here. And I don't know how well you can see in there. But you pretty much get the idea of what it looks like inside of there. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and put the weapon down, and before I do anything, I'm going to break this down and show you guys what we got to do there. Alright, let's put this flashlight away. And we're going to zoom in a little bit more over here. See if I can get you a good angle. Alright, so that's about the best angle I'm going to be able to get you for right now. Alright, so as you guys saw, showed you how to pull this out, and then right here, this right here is going to be your oh my god, I'm blanking out on words. It's going to be your firing pin. Sorry. Alright, let me see how zoomed in I am, because I don't know if you're going to be able to catch it on camera. Alright, yeah. So in there is, inside of here is your firing pin. Now there is a little screw here that's going to come out. So the way you got to make that come out is you see how this goes forward and back. You're going to make sure that goes back, and this little rod right here goes forward and back also. Make sure that rod is back so that way it's out of the way, and then you'll be able to pull this out. Now if you can't pull it out, See, you see I'm pushing here with my finger, and it just comes right out. Alright, now this has a little groove in there. See this little groove? So there's only one way to put it back. Alright, so now that that's out, now we can pull out this part, and okay, so this is something I wanted to show you guys. This is your firing pin right here. Let me take it out. This is your firing pin right here. And you see how this is flat here and then it's rounded off here? So the rounded off part needs to actually fall over this lip. I'm going to put it back so you can see it. I don't know if you can see it there, but it needs to fall over that lip when you're putting it back together. Alright, so I'm hoping you guys got to see that. But that's pretty much the way it works. So now that we have that taken apart, this is done. It's ready for cleaning. Now IWI suggests that you put a drop of oil in here, and then I notice that this gets a lot of wear, so I always put oil on here. Make sure to clean all of this with gun cleaner, all of that with gun cleaner. And oh, also inside of here, they say you should clean all around there, and even push this little pin down a little bit and make sure you clean all the gunk inside of there. So we'll go ahead and get started on that. I think I need to zoom out of the camera a little bit, and as you can see, my hands are already getting dirty, so I really don't want to deal with the camera too much, but let me go ahead and zoom out a little bit. Alright guys, so I'd really rather make a quick video so you guys can just get the idea and you don't have to sit here and watch me do the whole thing, but you might have to actually sit here and watch me do the whole thing. Alright, first things first. So I was cleaning the Savage earlier. This is garbage. Not going to use that no more. We're going to go ahead and get a clean one. And gun cleaner. Alright. We're going to go ahead and spray that down generously. And we're going to start cleaning. Oh boy, look at that. You know what? I might have to grab another one. Wow, look at that. I've taken it out a few times and I haven't cleaned it, so that's the dirtiest I actually ever seen that before. So that's why I'm saying wow so much. Alright guys, not to be worried. That's why we do this. That's why we clean it. So you know what? We're going to go ahead and get another one, another patch, and we'll spray this bitch down too. And if you don't like my language, deal with it. Alright, so back to cleaning. We're going to go ahead and get that. Get that nice and clean. Doesn't have to be perfection. It is a weapon after all. You're going to go back and shoot it again. So get that part. Clean off everything. Yeah. Dropping things today. Alright. Get everything nice and clean here. We're going to want to clean this rod too. sorry guys. Might have got a little boring there for you guys, but just making sure everything is right. Alright, so we're going to clean that rod. Run a little bit of cleaner over the spring too. Why not? Alright. So just pretty much an overall cleaning. Everything you can get to here. Alright. So that part is done. And we're going to need another one. Okay, that's alright. We got more. Grab one more here. Now the reason why I say we're going to need another one, that's done. But now we're going to get to the firing pin. Alright, so Tavor tells you, or IWI tells you to put a little bit of oil here on both sides. And you know, I like to rub some along the shaft as well. So that's what I do. And then also you should put some also on your firing pin. So just, you know, I pour some on the firing pin and I rub it along. But right now we're cleaning, so that's what we're gonna do. The spring, I don't really do much with the spring. I'm just gonna clean as much as I can right there. Firing pin. Not much to clean there. Even though they get a little dirty. Alright, and then we're going to go ahead and clean this here. And I know I'm using a dry patch right now. I didn't use no gun cleaner. Honestly, I plan on going shooting again tomorrow, so I just wanted to give it a little wipe down, and I actually wanted to make the video for you guys so you can get the idea. But I noticed that I find myself to be a little more thorough than what I want it to be. So just bear with me if I'm taking a little bit long here. And I'm not, you know, doing everything as you expect me to do. But I will walk you through and explain what the important things are and what the not so important things are. So normally, of course, I would use a wet patch, you know, with gun cleaner and clean this off. But since I'm doing it dry, just to do the video, and then I'm also gonna, you know, put some oil on it before I put it back in the weapon. So that's done. This was cleaned off. Make sure we put the spring on here so we don't forget. And the spring wanted to come off. Alright, let's do it again. There you go, spring on there. And even the little screw we use, which is not even a screw, the little like punch that holds everything together, that gets dirty too, so we're going to go ahead and clean that too. Alright, now, so we got all that clean. And now, here is the TAV-D, Shooting Sight TAV-D trigger pack. And by the way, for those of you who have watched my videos, I don't know if you've seen my video on when I bought this, but these guys have great customer service and they put out a great product. I haven't had not one problem with this, and brought my trigger pull down to about 5 pounds. I'm completely in love with the Tavor now. I mean, with the 11 pounds, there were times when I wanted to just leave it home and shoot something else, but now everybody reaches for the Tavor. So very good product. I'm really happy with it, and we're gonna go ahead and clean this. So this, we'll go ahead and just, you know, clean off the surface on the top, all that black that you saw there. Clean it off. Now, yes, we can open this up and clean inside of there. I'm gonna go shooting tomorrow, so I'm not gonna do that. But let me see if I can show you guys. All right, fuck it. I already got it clean. I already got opened. Might as well just clean in there. Oops. See, this is what I mean, that this open. So when you charge the weapon, if this stays up in an open position like that, it's gonna be a bitch to close it. It's gonna be a bitch to pull it out of the weapon. So there you go. You saw how I just pushed it back in. And for those of you who don't know about this, all you gotta do is grab something hard. With the stock trigger, it's a little bit harder. This is, you know, an aftermarket trigger, so this is a lot easier. Just push it back, and this will spring open. And I think I actually didn't clean underneath here. And of course I don't need to, but being who I am, I see it and I'm gonna get to it. So, alright, that's enough. Go ahead and close that back. And tab D trigger is ready to go back in the weapon. Alright, so that's done. Now all we gotta get to is the bore of the weapon and inside any gunk that's in there. So let me see what the video looks like so far. 15 minutes, alright. Well, I was expecting to do this as quickly as possible. I know the Tavor takes a little bit longer. Alright, so let's see here. What do we got? We got a rag that we can get in here with. And we even got my rod that we can push along and try to get into little things, try to clean up. Just trying to get clean inside of there. And I also, you know, sometimes put it in through here. And then I grab my rod. And I push it in there. And then, of course, I got to fish it out. Forgot about that part, huh? All right. So that's just to get the inside a little bit more clean, because it does get dirty in there. Not necessary, you don't really have to do what I did, but I'm not you, so deal with it. Alright, so we got that done. The very first thing I usually do is I use this little thing right here and make sure I get it nice and wet around here. You know, just in and out of that area there. Try to get that as clean as possible. So of course you can't see in there, but if you have a Tavor, when you look inside your weapon, you'll be able to see in there. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and spray this and just move some stuff out of the way here. Alright, and some of this stuff might be off camera. I'm going to try to keep it on camera as much as possible. So pretty much what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be inserting it in and out, spinning this as much as possible, trying to get as much gunk as I possibly can in there. Let's see what that looks like. Alright, so one more thing I want to do here. I want to go ahead and get this rag. I want to put it right there. Let's see, I use my little brush here. I want to get it all over that little section right there, right before the bore. The part that this goes into, that part right there gets a lot of gunk and crap built up around there. So I usually put that in there. You can see the rag gets it. So now it's a lot cleaner. I know you couldn't see it before. You probably can't see it anyway. Let me see. I'll open it up for you, and you can take a look. It's cleaner than it was before. Just take my word for it. All right. All right. So let me see. Get anything there? All right. Much better. Yeah, I like that. Alright. So yeah, those of you who have a Tavor, you're going to have a rag strictly for the Tavor. So make sure you get that when you buy yours. Alright, so we were cleaning with this. I'm going to go ahead and run it a couple more times by. Get any loose gunk. Alright, I'm good with that. Alright, now, once that is done, you can do one of two things. You can either use a brush and, you know, pour the gun cleaner and run it through, or you can use a bore snake and you can clean it with that. I've actually cleaned the Tavor with both. I'm probably going to use the bore snake today, so we'll go ahead and set this down. But remember, if you're going to use a brush, now people argue about this all the time, but one of my things is if you're going to use the brush and you put it on the tip of here, you run it through only the way that the bullet travels. Once it gets out the other side, you unscrew it, pull out your rod, screw it back onto your rod, and run it through again the way the bullet travels. Some of you guys are going to bitch and complain about that. Oh, the bore is not that weak. It can handle it. It doesn't matter. You can brush it back and forth. This is something that I'm getting from experts, from people who've been cleaning weapons a lot longer than I have. And everybody says that to run it the way the bullet travels. It's not that much of a pain in the butt to unscrew it at the end, pull out your rod, and screw it back on and run it through again. So, you guys do what you want to do. Just trying to give you as much information as possible. Alright, so we got all that done. We're going to go ahead and get to the bore snake here. They actually sell like a aluminum one. I forget. I'm not even going to mention that. This is what we got. This is what we're going to work with. Some of you who don't know what a bore snake is, it has bristles right here. This section right here has bristles. You can even put oil on this section here when you run it through your weapon and lubricate it. But this has bristles, and you can just spray the bristles with cleaner and run it through. Alright, so that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to have to spray the bristles. Alright. And then we're going to go ahead and get it through there. Nope. Come on. Alright, let's try it this way. I don't normally have to do it this way, but you want to be a pain in the ass, I'll work your way. Alright, there you go. Now screw it, we're going to do it my way. Alright, I'm sorry, YouTubers. Alright, here we go. Yeah, I know, maybe I should have just paused this part until I got it, so I don't look like a fool here trying to get this in here. But trust me, I know what I'm doing. I've done it before. Alright, there you go. It's sticking out the other side. Alright, what I'm going to do now is pull it. Make sure it's not wrapped around there. There you go. Alright, you see it sticking out there? We're going to pull it through. And I'm going to do this about 3 or 4 times. I've already spent a lot of time on the video. I'm going to do it one more time so you guys can see it on camera. And then I'll do it like 3 or 4 more times off camera. So, I'm going to spray it again. Probably got dry while I was taking so long there. And you know, everything always takes a little longer when you're doing it on camera. That's alright. This is for you guys. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and put it around my shoulders here. Bring it down. Make sure it runs through. Come on. Okay. Sticking out the other side here. Make sure nothing gets tangled up. And we're going to run it through. Alright. Now I know that looked a lot more difficult than it really is. I'm just trying to make sure I get it in that camera angle. So I'm sorry about that, guys, but I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, run that snake through a couple more times. Alright guys, so the bore and the inside of the weapon is pretty much clean now. Now we need to focus our attention on all the internal parts that we're going to be putting back in. And this looks a little bit dirty here, so let's go ahead and wipe that down. I know I already had wiped it down before, but it's a little dirty. Alright, so of course, yeah, I guess we could start with the trigger pack. No, you know what? We're going to start with this. Okay, so remember that we pulled this puppy out of there. So this needs to go back in. Before it goes back in, we're going to put a little lube. Put a little oil. Alright, so it is recommended to put oil on these two slots. And then I also pour some oil along the whole thing. It is also recommended to put some oil on your firing pin. And so that's what I did, and I'm going to work that along the whole firing pin. Alright, that part's done. We can put the spring in there, set that down, and go ahead and put some oil here. Alright, and I'll work that along there. And make sure everything is nice and slick. Alright. Alright, so now that we have that done, we're going to go ahead and put the pin in. Like I told you guys, this goes a certain way with the lip facing down, the flat part facing up. If you own a Tavor, when you get to that, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. We're going to go ahead and put this section in, and I was about to put it in backwards. Here we go, it goes like this. Alright. And as you can see through here, you see how it's this hole right here in the middle, there's something in the way, you turn it, it's out of the way, you push it back, you got a hole completely you can see through. So that's where this section right here goes, and this only goes one way. On the head of this, there's a flat part, I don't know if you can see it, there's a flat part and there's a rounded off part. So the flat part goes only one way. Go ahead and put it how it's supposed to go. Push that in. Alright, that didn't happen. There we go. Let's make sure we spin this correctly. Alright, there you go. Push it in. And that didn't work. Okay, this rod must be in the way here. Gotta push that back. See how it sticks out a little bit here? Now it'll let me put it in when I push this back. There you go. You see? Now that's ready. Now you can see there's some oil spots here from my fingers. That's fine. We're going to oil this up anyway. So now you push that back and that's ready to go. Alright, now We're going to put some oil on here. And I'm going to pour a little bit of oil along the spring here. I'm going to work that in a little bit here along the spring. Alright, I'm going to pour a little bit of oil along this rod here. Not too much, just a little bit. And we're going to oil that. Alright. Now, what Tavor asks you to do is pour some oil here. One drop there. I put one on each side. One drop on each side. And then, like I mentioned, I noticed while running the weapon that this has a lot of this has a lot of play in it. As you can see, you know, it shows where the slide moves along there a lot. So I lubricate this, make sure that is working nicely. Alright, we'll also work in this oil that's in here. Alright, and now with my hands all dirty, I'm going to go ahead and put this back into the weapon. Oops. Okay, go ahead and put that back in the weapon there. Just like that. Close this. Push the pin down. Fire mechanism's in there. Dude, my hands are dirty. Yes, I'm going to have to clean the weapon afterwards, but it's plastic. Don't worry about it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make sure these are pulled out nicely so we can put our trigger pack back in there. And all you gotta do is open this thing up right here. Here, let me get you on camera better. Open that up, like so. Go ahead and put our trigger pack in there. No, it's correct. What's going on here? Why will you go in? There you go. Okay, so